Hello and welcome to IRL F2 here for round 12, the final round here in Bahrain. Today, of course, not a great turnout of drivers, however, we do have a little bit of a twist for the last round as the drivers seemed generally okay with it, so this is basically how we're going to be doing it. Basically, it's instead of qualifying, we're going to have a reverse grid order based on the championship, so of course someone like Adrian Villarreal would start last, Jared Fosbury second last, and then you'd go down the grid like that. JCK, however, does have a quali ban to serve, so he will be starting at the very back of the grid, of course, but in a few moments we should be good to go. So, of course, we'll go straight into a formation lap with just the 9. Of course, Jack hasn't actually raced here before. Well, he has. Not this season, though, as he'll be put onto pole position, so he'll be having a bit of fun there. Adam Corrigan just behind him, so an Alfa Romeo front row lockout, although they didn't necessarily have to do all that much for it. Paco Suarez, of course, in third after taking a podium place in his previous race out in Italy, and of course that was his second podium, so we'll be looking to get a third podium here in Bahrain. Tim Brusselin starting down in 4th with Alan Wagner and Kieran Spears at 2 McLarens in 5th and 6th, Jared Fosbury 7th, Adrian Villarreal, of course, the championship leader and winner, in 8th, and Jose in 9th, serving his quali ban today. So I'm just going to try and rush to get a tweet out very quickly. It is ready. So that should be all good. If I just go to drafts. Of course, I usually have a little bit more time to do this. Usually we're not hopping straight onto the formation lap. But it is, I mean, it was basically voted by the drivers, so it should be all good. And there we go. And then we'll paste that and have to tweet up. There we go. So as they round the final corner then, of course Jack Campingkill, or Struggle Ankle as he's known elsewhere, is going to be starting on pole position, of course starting on the mediums as well, so he's going to be helping himself out there with a better strategy. Some people opting for the softs. I'm not sure how many people have opted for the softs. Only 2 people. Jared Fosbury also thinking the softs are the better option. Most people going with mediums. Paco Suarez on the hard, so he's going to be hoping for no safety car as we line up here. So we'll just wait for everyone to get sorted. As we have 5 red lights for the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go. Jack gets off to a pretty good start. The Alfa Romeo of Adam Corrigan dropping behind a little bit. Paco Suarez trying to put some pressure on the top guys. I think he's lost out a little bit as well. The Alpha Tauri of Tim Brusselin goes through the Alfa Romeo side by side. Jack loses out to Adam Corrigan. Adam Corrigan getting up into the lead of this race, of course, on the softs in the background there. That's Alan Wagner. Of course, he won the last race in Italy. He is well at the back of the grid, side by side between Kieran Spears and Paco Suarez. Of course, Paco on the hards, he's probably going to have to give up here, but he's going to try it down the inside. Not enough though, as the mediums is going to be superior there, and Kieran Spears in the McLaren is going to go through, looking down the inside of Tim Brusselin as well. The AlphaTauri not able to do it, and Paco Suarez again losing out a little bit to the AlphaTauri of Jose, of course, who served his quali ban. He's up to a nice P5, a good start from the South American. I kind of forget his proper nationality, but I'll go with that. And in the background, Jared Fosbury having a look at Adrian Villarreal, but not able to do anything. Of course, he's starting on the softs. He's really going to have to make up some places. Out in front, though, Adam Corrigan really leading this race, a commanding lead of almost 3 seconds. So he's really doing what he has to do. Of course, the medium runners all behind him, apart from Alan Wagner, who unfortunately had that incident. Of course, I'm sure we'll get a word on it after the race, But at the moment, I just know something must have happened for that to happen. But the McLaren of Kieran Spears on the inside now. Jack losing out another place, as this is for the final podium spot, I think, of third place, side by side between the two, and he is going to have to give up there and drop to P4, as the timing screens are very glitched. Paco Suarez, I think, is in... well, actually, he's at the back of the train, so that must be 8th place then. As is Jared Fosler making up some places. No, he's in the pit lane as well. As Alan Wagner, I think, also opted for the pit lane. Out in front, Adam Corrigan now over a 3-second gap. So, obviously, with most people going on mediums, it is a little bit easier to get the gap. And his softs aren't going to be giving him as many problems as they normally would, of course, with no quali. So, yeah, he'll be out in front for now. As Tim Brusalian's dropping back a little bit with the Kieran Spears McLaren just behind him. He'll be hungry to be making up some places after. I'm sure he thinks he could have won the last few rounds. Certainly in Canada, he took the win ahead of his teammate Alan Wagner. Alan Wagner then took it round 11 in Italy, and he dropped back a little bit. I think he finished 6th in the end with the fastest lap, as he picked it up at the end. Now, of course, in a podium position, and he's going to be looking to really make a mark on this race as he follows the AlphaTauri of Tim Brusalian's going on to lap 3 now. So DRS will be in activation. In the back though, JCK and Jack Mia going at it a little bit. Of course, both of which on mediums, and Jose is going to be going into the pit lane to probably get a new wing. I would only assume, as it's quite an early stop, especially for mediums. There's no real reason why you would do that. As has Alan Wagner spun? I think he has, in last place. And yeah, that's just Jared Fosbury picking up an extra position. Kieran just behind him still of the AlphaTauri Tim Brusalian's. And Paco Suarez, of course, and Adrian Villarreal both went for the hards. They are sticking with the medium guys. By the way, 5 seconds now, Adam Corrigan's gap. So I think this is looking like a pretty good race for Adam Corrigan, as all the guys at the back will have to make up the time later on fresher hards. Of course, Paco Suarez and Adrian Villarreal will be on mediums, so that will be a little bit easier to close the gap at the end. But right now, Adam Corrigan really doing what he has to, going for actually what is his first win this season, as he hasn't really made a mark on this season. Of course, last season he had an outside shot, I think, of the F3 title, and he picked himself up a win in Japan, as well as the McLaren of Kieran Spears on the back of Tim Brusalian's, and he's going to go up into P2 pretty simply before the turn 1 hairpin, and up into P2. Tim Brusalian's dropping to P3. Of course, both of them should be able to keep ahead of the hard runners behind for a decent bit longer. The hards never really turn on, if you want to kind of put it like that, as Adam Corrigan sets the purple first sector, but so too does Kieran Spears. Now he's been released in a bit of clean air after getting past Tim Brusalian's. Obviously, I think Kieran Spears may be using a little bit more of his fuel and ERS to try and get away and gap Tim Brusalian's, to try and make the most. Of course, he's starting on the mediums. He has to be thinking of the longer game of Paco Suarez and Adrian Villarreal, of course, on the hard compound of tires. But I don't think it's necessarily working out to how he would want it, as Brusalian is still sticking with him within half a second. Maybe we'll see these two switch again as they go down the long straight. Almost 7 seconds. I mean, at this rate, he could have a pit stop to them if he keeps going how he's going. Probably around 12 seconds, which means it'll be a lot for the guys behind to catch up, especially that Adrian Villarreal and Paco Suarez will have to pass these two guys up ahead of Tim Brusalian's and Kieran Spears, because they'll be on the slightly slower tyre. Well, significantly slower, but side by side regardless. Tim Brusalian's on the inside of the McLaren. They'll be going side by side once again for this P2. Kieran Spears is going to keep to the inside, but I think Tim Mercedes has a more superior line around the outside of turn 2, having the inside of turn 3. Is that someone in the background off? That's Adrian Villarreal, the championship winner. Round. Not sure why. Maybe it was an incident with Paco Suarez. Maybe it was on his own. Of course, that corner can really kick out the rear a little bit. Paco Suarez hasn't really lost too much time to them. Of course, Adrian Villarreal was running ahead of Paco Suarez before. So the gap kind of checks out as Kieran Spears still trying to make a move on the AlphaTauri. 7.6 seconds the gap to Adam Corrigan, so they're really not doing themselves any favours of fighting each other so much, but I'm sure Adam Corrigan won't mind as Kieran Spears on the back of Tim Mercedes. He's in the slipstream as well. He's going to close up massively under braking, but having a slightly worse exit, and he's going to have to stick behind once again as they continue to scrap away for this P2. Is, I mean, really it's the only battle at the moment, but it's certainly an entertaining one between the two, and I think Adam Corrigan is kind of clear at the moment. Maybe later on they'll be able to catch, you would expect it, but at the moment he's really looking on it as he goes on to lap 6 and around now. I would say the softs should be going off, but the McLaren of Kieran Spears once again down the inside of Tim Mercedes, and he's going to come back to the left hand side of the track, say thank you very much, and back up into this P2 as Paco Suarez closes up a bit more to this fight. And if they keep fighting this much, I think Paco Suarez might be able to take a cheeky opportunity or two to maybe get into this into these podium places, of course. Tossing and changing, or I'm not sure what the proper expression is, but certainly changing around a lot between these two going for second place. As Paco Suarez just sitting in the DRS, looking for the long game, of course, on those hards. On the mediums, they'll certainly be a lot quicker than the hard tires that Kieran Spears and Tim Mercedes will inevitably be pitting onto. It's now 8.3 seconds a gap. I think that gap is kind of settling a little bit. I think they're not they're not really losing as much time as they were. As Jose at the side of the track. What is going on there? I don't know what was going on there. He seemed to be in the barrier. A bit odd of a place to be in the barrier. Oh, come on, Jose. This is the driving you don't want to see, especially when you have a fight for the podium place. This is Paco Suarez on the inside of Kieran Spears. Kieran Spears just lost out to Tim Mercedes, as Kieran Spears is going to be able to hold off Paco Suarez as the second and third change once again, as Kieran Spears on the back of the AlphaTauri. He's going to be looking for the long way around of turn 4, side by side between the two. Kieran Spears is going to have the outside once again for a very crucial S section, and he's going to have to give in there. Tim Mercedes sticking with the P2 as 9.5, almost 10 seconds Adam Corrigan has increased his gap to, and these guys really looking like they're committed to fighting each other. As if JCK ends up crashing out, I think I'm gonna have a fair idea that it was intentional, which is very much not allowed in this league, and at the same time it's just kind of appalling to see driving like that. But as we're on board with Kieran Spears as he's trying to close up to Tim Mercedes, Paco Suarez really making a mark on the last lap, of course, going through the hairpin, as Jose seemingly pitting once again, as I'm sure he has plenty of penalties to show for it. As he's going to retire, at least he's going to do it in the pit lane and not somewhere on track and cause an unnecessary safety car. Of course, Adam Corrigan would really be annoyed at that. Of course, he's got a 10-second gap, and when he pits, he's going to want to keep his 10-second gap. And beyond, the gap is going to be far superior at this point compared to what any safety car would gain him. As Kieran Spears once again closing up, Tim Mercedes can't close up enough, as he's going to have to stick behind. Once again, the AlphaTauri is going to retain this P2, as Paco Suarez kind of dropping off a little bit, it seems. in P4. He's still within the DRS, of course. 8 tenths as the McLaren and AlphaTauri really running quite closely together. As in terms of the constructors fight, by the way, 2 points separate Haas and McLaren. There was a small mistake in the standings that I noticed, that someone should have had pole position points added on, and they weren't added on. So at the start, it was under the impression McLaren were ahead by, or actually no, not ahead, but I think they were equal. McLaren taking it on countback, but turns out Haas actually had 2 more points than what was shown. So Haas do have a 2-point advantage, but at this rate, it is actually going to be McLaren taking the constructors' title, as of course you never know what could happen. Paco Suarez now on the back of Kieran Spears. He's going to be closing down into turn 1 as Kieran Spears not defending, so Paco Suarez is going to take the inside line going into turn 1 side by side between the two, and I think Paco Suarez might just have this as he tries to squeeze out the McLaren. Still side by side, Tim Versailens gets a little bit of a breather, and Paco Suarez is going to pull ahead of the McLaren. Maybe those mediums going off a little bit, and Paco Suarez says thank you very much up into the podium places finally, as he's been watching the podium places change so much. He's now properly part of this battle, right in the middle of it, and now he's going to set his sights on Tim Versailens in second place. 9.2 seconds the gap to the leader of Adam Cargan, of course. Adam Cargan should be coming in any time now, as I don't think he's pulling away anymore. 9.2 seconds, probably 9.1, yeah. I don't think he is pulling away quite as much as he was. And if they fight this much, I think Adrian Villarreal might be able to be brought back into this fight. It's now 9 seconds almost into the 8s, kind of between the gap, so Adam Cargan certainly not gaining time anymore on those softs, but with a gap this big, and he's going to be going on to the hards as well. Is that a safety car? Jack is out. I can't actually tell if that's a safety car. I think it might just be a virtual, as of course it's not showing up on my screen. I'm not sure if there's some sort of thing that I need activated. It looks like a full course caution. Someone is in the pits. That's Jared Fosbury. Yeah, looking like just a virtual safety car. As Jack Kampfinkel on his return to IRL, unfortunately crashing out at the exit of turn 4, going through turn 5. As is this? I don't think it is a safety car. Is Jared Fosbury out of the pit lane now? He's going to be with the McLaren of Alan Wagner. As I think Adam Cargan now is going to take an opportunity to pit surely now on lap 10, as he's losing this much time. I think it is worth it, as will he go into the pits now? It looks like he is into the pits. Adam Cargan here on lap 10 going on to lap 11, so he's going to be going 19 laps to the end of this race on the hard compound of tyre. Tim Versailens is going to inherit the lead from Adam Cargan, and of course Paco Suarez right up the back of Tim Versailens. He's closing on Tim Versailens as well, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. He's going to stick behind, as Adam Cargan is going to emerge from the pit lane behind Adrian Villarreal in 5th place. Luckily for him, it doesn't look like he has any penalties from what I can see, as on go the hard tyres, of course, and he is certainly going to be going to the end as Kieran Spears now. I think these three will all get a bit of a kind of incentive to push on now, because Adam Cargan going to the end, you would expect him to be closing on this gap, as looks like about 12 seconds, as I'll get the gap to leader so we can kind of monitor that. 14 seconds from himself to Tim Versailens, but 10 lap old mediums. I think a fresh set of hards. Gotta be quicker at this point in the race, and I don't think it's going to get much easier for the top guys. Paco Suarez really at this point should be looking at getting past Timber Stallions, I think now, as the the mediums only have about 5 more laps in them. After that they'll be completely gone. The hards of course can go a lot longer. I think Paco Suarez will be looking for a hard to soft at the end. I can't speak. But yeah, I think that's what we would be expecting, as these guys will be staying out for quite a bit longer, as Paco Suarez once again opening DRS down the start finish straight. Can he do anything to Timber Stallions? He has a look down the inside of his. He's gonna once again have to stick behind the AlphaTauri driver as they continue to go through. Adam Cargan now 12.9, 13 seconds, so he has actually gained a second since leaving the pit lane on lap 10, so he's been on these tires 2 laps. So in 2 laps he's gained a full second, and it seems like he's only gaining more. And of course he's going to be able to gain for at least the next 3, maybe 4 laps, depends on these guys decide to pit themselves. And by these guys I mean really Tim and Kieran Spears. Paco Suarez will be going to roughly, I'd say, about lap 19, maybe lap 20 at a push. So now Adam almost got the gap down to 12 seconds. So he's really making the most of these fresh hards, which as he should. Worst thing to happen really for Adam right now would be a safety car, because all the front guys would just pit. I think Paco Suarez wouldn't be in as good of a position as actually into the pits for Kieran Spears on lap 13. Very interesting strategy call, as the mediums would be quicker than what the hards would be late on in the race, so it is more beneficial to stay on them. But on go the soft tires as well for Kieran, so he's actually looking at a 2-stop. A soft and then maybe another set of softs, or go on to the mediums right at the end. I would assume this is just a soft. He's out of the pit lane now. For reference, he is 11 seconds behind Adam Cargan, but of course he has another stop to make. He will be able to close quite a lot on those fresh softs, but it'll all be cancelled out once he has to pit again. I think it is going to be a soft to the end, as they will be fresh, or they should be fresh, given that of course there was no qualifying. As now Timber Stallions looking a little on the back foot, as Timber Stallions actually going to be reacting to the pit stop from Kieran Spears. So now, has Kieran Spears done enough? Of course, Timber Stallions was the one leading the train, and he continued to lead that train until he looked a little under pressure from Paco Suarez. Of course, also with Kieran Spears looking a little bit of a threat on those soft tires. How much has he gained? Is on go the hard tires for Timber Stallions. So he's going to be going to the end. There goes Kieran Spears. Of course, his undercut has worked a treat on the soft tires. Timber Stallions would have loved to be ahead of that McLaren so he can hold him up a little bit, but that's not going to be the case, as now, of course, Paco Suarez and Adrian Villarreal going to inherit a P1 and P2. 2.5 seconds between the two, so it looks like Adrian Villarreal has been closing on the lead. For Wallace, actually a little bit of a twitch going out of the double left-hander for the championship leader, the season 10 champion of F2. Adam Cargan now 9.6 seconds behind Paco Suarez, And once Pacosaurus pits, he would be behind Tim Brusaylin's, and of course Kieran Spears is going to be closing on Adam Corrigan, but you'll have to really pass him and get a bit of a gap, and then pit again to really have any chance of winning this race with the strategy. And I think beating Tim Brusaylin's is a fair goal. But I don't think much more than that. I think Pacosaurus on the mediums as well. At the end, they should be good enough to beat a second stop from Kieran Spears. But I think Adam Corrigan is looking pretty okay at the moment to take this win, as long as he doesn't bottle, which certainly he can. You know, like it's not impossible for him to do so. He does have tendencies. Not the good kind, anyway. But right now, he is leading the race, so fair play to him. It's kind of the battling really just sort of dying down. The main battle is kind of just it's a pit stop battle more than anything else. 8 seconds. Kieran Spears behind Adam Corrigan. He's going to be closing in on the Alfa Romeo driver all the time. As by the way, he's also gapped Tim Brusaylin's by about 5 seconds. So certainly on beating Tim Brusaylin's as well, he's doing what he has to. But I think it's certainly going to be close between the two. If FP was anything to go by, a fresh set of tyres at the end of the race are certainly superior to the hards. You just have to catch the guy ahead of you on the hards. By the end, is actually round. Luckily, doesn't go into the wall. He has lost a second or two from that, I think. But very, very lucky from Kieran Spears to not put it in the wall. Getting very close to it as he loses the rear end out of the final corner, but so lucky to not be sitting in the barrier right now. But not looking the cleanest at the moment. That rear end looking a little loose, as 11 seconds now to Adam Corrigan, of course, after that mistake. I think he's cleaned up a little bit now as he goes through the or approaches the S section. Oh, another spin! That's actually round again! The McLaren. Getting very close to the wall. Once again, not going into it. And now he's behind Tim Brusaylin. So we have a bit of a fight now. But certainly the McLaren driver not having the best luck. Getting up on the curb. I'm not completely sure what would have happened on the final corner. It's usually a fairly simple exit to do. But I guess if you hit the curb the wrong way there as well. And of course happening in the last lap. And a bit, it's certainly not what he needed. Being behind Tim Brusaylen, he really needed to be closing in on Adam Corrigan, who's has a healthy net lead, you can say, as now he closes in on Paco Suarez ever closer. 7 seconds now. Is that Adam Corrigan round? Adam Corrigan has spun at the final corner. He was leading, everything was fine for him. Now Tim Brusaylen's 4 seconds behind him. Paco Suarez looks set to go for this race lead. As on lap 17 out of 29, Paco Suarez will be pitting soon. He'll come out certainly behind Tim Brusaylen's, but he's set really. I mean, the fresh mediums and Adrian Villarreal on the way as well, 2 seconds back. Adam Corrigan really did not need that mistake. I mean, leading by so much. You can say he had it in the bag, but not anymore. As Tim Brusaylen's within 4 seconds of him now as well. The difference in hard tyres, I think the 3 laps won't make too much of a difference, as now Kieran Spears closing up. He's suddenly in the running to take a victory here as well, as he does have to pit once again, but Adam Corrigan has been brought ever closer to him. As now the McLaren on the back of Tim Brusaylen, it should be a pretty easy move on the softs versus the hards, and pulls to the left hand side and then completes the overtake back up into P4. Now 4 seconds the gap, as now round again Kieran Spears. Is that wing damage I see as well? I can't really tell. I think there is a little bit of damage on that car. There is a bit of damage on that car. Left end plate has kind of gone, he's gone really wide. through the left-hander, as up on the gravel as well. That's really not what you need. As the yellow flags are out, as actually Adrian Villarreal now pitting. He's going to be certainly coming out behind Tim Verstappen's, but not by much, as he's out on the median tires going to the end. He is 6 seconds, or I should say 7 seconds behind Adam Corrigan. But those mediums, I mean, he has, what, 11 laps to catch a 7-second gap. That should be pretty easy. And also, he is undercutting Paco Suarez, who he was following 2 seconds behind, as Paco Suarez completely cuts that corner. Kieran Spears now into the pit lane after getting that damage. And why are you on wets? Why are you on wets? I just hope you don't annoy anyone. Why are you on wets, Kieran? Paco Suarez now a healthy lead of 16 seconds. But of course, Adrian Villarreal really closing in, as he's going to be looking for an undercut. He does have the clear air to do so, so I think we're going to be seeing Paco Suarez into the pits. He's staying out. Very, very interesting. Staying out. Really a few different strategies that we're seeing here, as Paco Suarez certainly looking for a soft tire to go on right at the end, or you can at least kind of think, you don't have to think much about it to kind of see what he's doing anyway, as you would have thought he would have reacted to the undercut of Adrian Villarreal. But you can think, though, Adam Corrigan would have been only 6 seconds roughly away from Paco Suarez, and it would have been a bit of a task for Adrian Villarreal to close the gap. But now he's been, I mean, I won't say gifted, because it's Adam Corrigan's fault he spun. Adrian Villarreal is just running his own race. He was involved in this earlier as well, so who knows what he could have been doing, as he could have been certainly closer to Paco Suarez, or maybe ahead, you never know, as he did close quite a bit. But currently running P4, looking for an undercut, and I think that undercut is certainly going to pay off at this point, as he follows behind the AlphaTauri. I think he might be able to make a move now as he follows behind, opening up the DRS as well. Not going to be able to, I don't think, actually going through this left-hander, as he's going to have to stick behind a little bit longer, as it's a very tricky corner to make a move on, as the McLaren getting in the way. It would be nice if you, like, just retired in the pits and weren't on full wets, Kieran. If you are listening to the stream at all, please pit. It's just kind of ridiculous seeing this. As now Paco Suarez, of course, on to the soft compound of tyre. Adrian Villarreal getting past Tim Verstappen's up into P2 now. 4 seconds separating himself, and a win to the final race of the season. Paco Suarez now on the softs, 2.6 seconds back from Tim Verstappen's. But oh well, I mean, it's kind of looking a little inevitable at this point. We could have had a last lap or two battle between Adam Corrigan and Adrian Villarreal at least, but at this rate that gap is going to plummet, and Adam Corrigan is going to have to settle for a podium place, I think, as he looks like he's keeping a gap to Tim pretty healthy. But I think Paco Suarez on the softs will catch him, and well, I mean, Adrian Villarreal's caught a second since passing Tim. As you can see, Paco Suarez on those fresh soft tyres, and Jared Fosbury also on fresh soft tyres, just ahead of on Wagner as they go through 5th and 6th for them. And then in the background, that's a spinning McLaren on the full wets once again. 2.7 seconds separating the top two now. And Paco Suarez in the background there, getting past Tim Verstappen's on the softs. So Adam's kind of last hope really is that Paco Suarez catches Adrian Villarreal and they fight enough. Because You can see there is Adam Corrigan, and there is Adrian Villarreal, and Paco Suarez running third at the moment. So, yeah, really not looking good for someone who is chasing his first win of the season, as we get a very nice helicopter shot for Adrian Villarreal, and you can see all the players for the lead of this race, for the win of this race, as we approach the final stages on lap 21 out of 29. Paco Suarez certainly closing on Adrian Villarreal, 1.5 seconds, so it's really going to be Paco Suarez closing on Adrian Villarreal, who is closing on Adam Corrigan. Adam Corrigan still just about has a gap outside of the DRS for Adrian Villarreal to benefit. It's 1.2 seconds now. Paco Suarez, of course, he hasn't taken a win in ages. His last win, I think, was Monaco back in season 7. It should have been 2019. So he's certainly in a position to take a win today, as he sets the fastest, or is that the fastest lap? It should have been the fastest lap. It didn't show up for me, as we can check it very quickly here, as yeah, it is the fastest lap of the race, so he'll picking up an extra point today. As I think we're about to see Adrian Villarreal get into the DRS of Adam Corrigan. And Paco Suarez also in the DRS of Adrian Villarreal. So once they go down the start finish straight, they are all going to be in DRS of each other. Hopefully a recipe for good racing rather than the ladder of crashes, because that's certainly not what you want to see as you're approaching the final stages of the race. Of course, the quickest guy at the back, the second quickest in the middle, and leading is the slowest on, of course, the much older, higher, I can't even speak, the much older, harder tyres, as Adrian Villarreal now going to be looking to close up on the back of the Alfa Romeo, who has been leading pretty much this entire race. Certainly in the net lead, as Adrian Villarreal closes once again, as he'll have much better grip going through here. A little bit of a correction there, but I think Adrian Villarreal's going to be going for this, as he looks to the inside, can't go for it, as he's going to have to go the long way around. Adam Corrigan's going to really fight him for this, and he's going to just about keep it ahead. Adam Corrigan, a good defence, but something he really didn't need, as of course he did have that mistake earlier, and both of them almost trying to move on Adam Corrigan. He's still trying to defend this, both of them going for a switchback 3 wide momentarily, and actually Paco Suarez has been touched a little bit, as into the wall. That's damage for Paco Suarez. Not as big of a crash as it could have been, but Paco Suarez, Adrian Villarreal looked like he lost the rear or something, and Paco Suarez now has to settle for a P3, it looks like, at best, as Adam Corrigan continues to lead this race. Adrian Villarreal running second, as was the case for quite a decent bit, pretty much since his pit stop, as he's kind of inevitably, I think, going to be making this move now as they round the final corner, and Tim Mercedes in the background has got past the Renault of Paco Suarez, unfortunately, opening up DRS now for Adrian Villarreal. He's on the back of the Alfa Romeo. I don't think he's going to be able to make this move, though. He looks to the inside, but he's far too back, far too much back. I'm not really sure, I phrased that badly, but he's not going to be able to make a move yet, as now a little bit closer to the Alfa Romeo. Can he make a move now as he closes up? Looks to the inside once again, but no move possible, as Paco Suarez now into the pit lane. Very unfortunate for him, as it looks like he was just caught up in an incident that it didn't look his fault from what I could see, as they were 3 wide. And the fight for the lead of this race continues as Paco Suarez gets out ahead of, is that? No, that isn't actually, that's just Kieran Spears. Finally, he's gone for the soft tyres at least. As lap 24 out of 29. Maybe these mediums going off a little bit. As is that a full safety car? I don't think that's Jared in the pit lane this time. That's not Jared in the pit lane this time. What has caused the safety car? It doesn't show it on my screen, but it is a full safety car, and the top guys will have to pit for soft tires. It's a no-brainer. If you don't pit right now, you're done. Yeah, he's into the pit lane. Adrian Villarreal also into the pits, putting the top guys very much on a level playing field. Paco Suarez getting brought back into this fight, so lucky for him after his incident. And everyone pretty much going to be on the softs, and as Paco Suarez actually just on the softs. He won't necessarily have to pit again, but I think he will anyway. He'll have an opportunity to. As Jared Fosbury in 6th brought back into it. Kieran Spears is doing whatever he's doing in the double left-hander. I don't know what. Like, please retire. Like, what are you doing? Please retire. I can only assume that it was Kieran Spears who caused this safety car, as Adam Corrigan passes the safety car momentarily, but he is meant to be behind the safety car as they all line up. In terms of the constructors, it's looking like a well, I'm actually not sure. 18 points, and then it will be 16. So 16 to 18 is not good enough. And it's really all down to what Alan Wagner can do. If he can get 4th place, he can match how much Adrian Villarreal is going to be scoring, but they need to outscore them by 2 points to take the constructors today. As I will check those messages very quickly. As Jared Fosbury saying he got took out. Fairly sure. I think I caught that. I must have anyway. Oh, maybe that's what you mean for the safety car then. But what was I meant to check? I don't know, I was checking something about the McLarens, I think. Regardless, anyway, it is up to Alan Wagner to win this constructors fight, of course. Right now, they would finish 4 points behind the Haas team. And, of course, they need to gain by 2 points, so Alan Wagner would have to finish in 3rd. Making it 15, and then that would be 16, 17, 8, yeah, 21, which would actually give him. So if he can get 3rd, they'll take it. If he can get 2nd, then Haas will win by 2 points. So he's got a little bit of a task on his hands, and of course, if Adrian Villarreal wins, then it's kind of ended there. As Kieran Spears won't be getting anything better than 7th today. Certainly an interesting end to the races, everyone. Kind of gets a bit of a reset. Everyone gets brought back into the fighting. Usually when you see something like this though, one incident happens, 2 battles get separated, and then the winner of each battle kind of gets decided, and then that's it. Hoping that doesn't happen today, as the safety car should be in this lap, I think. Excuse me. As rounding the final few corners, I think the safety car must be in now. Yeah, it is. So it's all up to Adam Corrigan. When he wants to go, that is when they go. And of course, no overtakes can be made before the line, as Adam Corrigan is going to be taking his time, as he's well entitled to do. A little bit faster of a restart than something that Matthew would do in F1, but he has bolted now, and I think that is a fairly good way to restart the race. It's 5/10 between himself and Adrian Villarreal. Tim Mercedes right on the back of the Haas, looking for a move. I don't think he's going to be able to do it in the background as well. Actually, that's Alan Wagner, I should say, down the inside of Paco Suarez, side by side between the two. Of course, this is not actually going to be giving the McLaren team what they need, but the Haas now side by side with Adam Corrigan on the outside, but not going to be able to. Once again, there's a bit of a switchback from the Haas driver, not going to be able to do it on 27 out of 29, and the Alfa Romeo driver is going to retain his lead as they go through the double left-hander in a few moments. Isn't looking like the Haas is going to make it now, but down the start-finish straight, I think certainly an opportunity, as it is such a long straight. As in the background there, the two Renaults are actually going to be fighting soon. As has actually Alan Wagner had a bit of an incident there? I think he has, you know, maybe with fighting with Paco Suarez or Jared Fosbury or something. As the Haas of Adrian Villarreal still trying to get past Adam Corrigan. He has kept him behind for quite a while, and I mean, the first time he wasn't even at an advantage on the hards, keeping him behind for I think the 2 or 3 laps before the safety car came out, and now they're on a level playing field, so it should make it a little bit easier for Adam Corrigan to retain this lead. But now the Haas on the back of the Alfa Romeo at this point now is Alan Wagner dropping down to 6th place. I think it is going to be Haas to take the constructors now. It's all really I don't even know what I'm talking about. That can the Haas take the win? As he looks to the left and then right hand side, he's going to be looking on the inside of the Alfa Romeo. The Alfa Romeo driver around the outside, Adam Corrigan, and he's going to retain the lead once again. A great fight that we're having here, and Adam Corrigan really not someone you would have expected to be fighting the championship leader, the season 10 champion. You can say as well, not someone you'd really be thinking is going to be doing it, but he is doing it at the moment, as he's kept the Haas behind on the last 2 laps. He launched a challenge into turn 4, but both times Adam Corrigan able to stay ahead as they approach the final lap. This is the penultimate lap as they approach the left-hander and then right-hander. Of course, the right-hander, a very dangerous curb, as they're all going to have to keep off it at the same time, really concentrating here. As Adam Corrigan still retains the lead of this race as he goes very, very wide. That's certainly a warning, not something he really needed to give himself there, but certainly not getting any more penalties as they go through the final corner now as Kieran Spears retires from the session. I'm not sure if he's going to be getting any points today, but the Haas, this final chance really to take the win of this race on the left hand side, and he switches suddenly to the right hand side of the Alfa Romeo. On the inside, he's really going for this win, and I think this time he has the move done, going through turn 2 and turn 3, and he is up into the lead of this race as Adam Corrigan not finished now, as Tim Mercedes is going to put a little bit of pressure on the Alfa Romeo driver, and I don't think he's going to be able to do it as Adam Corrigan drops a second. Adrian Villarreal looking to finish this championship off in style. Of course, he has taken the title already and a win in the final race, and also taking the constructors in style in a way, as well as now 8 tenths between them. I don't think Adam Corrigan has any answer really. He's going to have to be looking behind more than ahead as Tim Mercedes follows behind. The 2 Renaults look pretty set in stone in 4th, and in 5th the AlphaTauri driver of Tim Mercedes not looking like he can make a move as Adam Corrigan closes up a little bit more to Adrian Villarreal, but it doesn't look like it's going to be possible as Adrian Villarreal rounding the penultimate corner as Adam Corrigan pushing. He's round now as well. He's got damage. He's going to be dropping down to 5th place, maybe 6th if he's unlucky, but Adrian Villarreal doesn't care. He's going around the final corner. Tim Mercedes is going to inherit a P2, but Adrian Villarreal is going to come across the line to win in the final race of the F2 season here in Season 10. Tim Bersane's going to take a P2. Paco Suarez is going to take his third podium of the season. Jared Fosbury in fourth, and Adam Corrigan, after a spin, he's going to come away with a fifth place instead of a second. Really not the best day for Adam Corrigan. It was looking great until that spin, and Adrian Villarreal, the driver of the day, I really have to agree with that. I would have given it to Adam if he was able to keep it in first, but not what happened, as Adrian Villarreal takes the victory here today. Adrian Villarreal on the top step of the podium, lifting the trophy for the final time this season at least, as he takes what I think is his fourth win maybe. Didn't necessarily take too many wins this season. Tim Bersane's taking a podium in second, and Paco Suarez was his third podium in third place as they spray the champagne to finish out the season under the lights in Bahrain. As we go through, there's the fireworks in the background, a nice way to end off the season. Adrian Villarreal, of course, taking the final win of the season. Tim Bersane's in second, Paco Suarez rounding out the podium, as I said. Jared Fosbury in fourth, Adam Corrigan dropping to fifth right at the end. Alan Wagner in sixth, Kieran Spears a DNF, so he's not going to be picking up any points. Jack in eighth, of course, with an earlier DNF, and Jose as well with a DNF in ninth. But regardless of the drivers, what a race we've had today. Just fighting right up to the end. Adam Corrigan really pushing for the win. In the end, it's going to be a P5 with the spin. So really unfortunate for him, but I mean, all of which really was put on himself. Safety car didn't help, but I think really it was a gift, as I don't think he would have held off on those hards for very much longer. So I'll just get the so we wait for the top guys to join. So yeah, it was actually equal on points going into the final round. My bad. But regardless, with Kieran Spears crashing out, of course Adrian Villarreal beat Alan Wagner, so that is the constructors for Haas set in stone. As they're not actually joining. There's Tim. There's Paco. Just asking Adrian if he's joining.
I mean, anyways, he joins or not.
Well, he did. So,
Yes.
and I think I can hear you, Adrian, just to make sure.
Yes.
I can. Nice. So we'll get started then. Of course, Adrian. I don't think it was necessarily your easiest win today, and you did have an incident with Paco Suarez, which I think maybe we'll see something more about that later on. But of course, you fought right to the end with Adam Gargan taking the lead, going on to the final lap of the race in turn 1, and well, a nice way to finish it out. Of course, finishing the constructors' title in style as well.
Yes, congratulations to Paco and Tim for the podium. It was a very fun race for me. I was starting at the back with the hard tires, and then I made a mistake. I spun on my own, so I lost touch with the leading group, and then somehow I was able to catch up, I guess, just on strategy. And yeah, at the end it was just me, Paco, and Adam going for the win. I was trying to overtake him, Gravity, and he was very aggressive, but very good defending. So I guess in that hairpin, Paco saw his opportunity. So we were just 3 wide at the exit there, and I felt there was a little tangle of wheels between me and Paco, and I thought I was gonna spin with him too, but it was just him. Unfortunately, it sucks when your race ends like that. But yeah, after that, we had a safety car, I think, so I was able to overtake Adam on the last lap. And then I have no idea what happened to him. I thought he was gonna get second, and then I just saw behind, I guess he spun or something. But yeah, unfortunate for him. But it was a fun race for me. So happy to get the constructors too. Happy to finish the season with you guys, and yeah.
Yeah, Adam Corrigan spun on the curb of death, if you want to put it like that. The flat right-hander got up on the curb and spun round. So yeah, that's what happened to Adam Corrigan there. And yeah, obviously there's no more races. But if you were going to continue racing in IRL for next season, maybe you'll probably be in F1. Of course, a new game is a new challenge. But how do you think you could do for next season in IRL?
Yeah, I plan to race if I can, whatever division. I have no expectations. I just go in it to have fun and just do my best. And, it's such a great league, so for sure I'll be back. And I'm just happy to be able to win the championship this year and also the constructors. So yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next year.
Okay, nice to hear then. So congratulations, of course, on the win. Also taking the constructors today, and I guess good luck for wherever you'll be next season.
Thank you, Kevin.
And that will go on then to Tim Brustalians, of course, who took the P2. Maybe wasn't necessarily expecting it for most of the race, but of course Adam Corrigan spinning right at the end. I'm sure it put a smile on your face anyway to come across the line in P2 after a kind of a not too eventful race of just being on the hard sim.
Yeah, it was a very big smile after seeing that Adam spun, but I also felt very bad for him. He did a mistake alongside the race, but ruined a bit his race win. But yeah, I think at the beginning of the race, the fight with Kieran and Parker was quite well up. Parker said afterwards that he lost a lot of time through this, but sometimes it is how it is. I said, you can overtake, I'm not gonna fight you, but he was never close enough to pass me, and with strategy, medium hard, yeah, I didn't know that it's the slowest of all strategies, so in the end, with the hards, I just said to myself, it can't be that you're getting another P4. So yeah, I was in the end a bit lucky that Paco got wing damage. Needed to pit again, then I was on P3 when the safety car came out. Yeah, and after the safety car, he got such a bad I was normally thinking that I'm dropping to like P5 or P6 because I think people will be faster than me, but then Paco had this horrible safety car ending. Then I was just focusing not to crash out, maybe sneaking P2 or from Adam in the last lap or from Sassy, I don't know. Yeah, but I was really thinking that I'm getting P3, but then Adam spinning. Yeah, now it's P2, 3 points more, and I take that for the last race and the season.
Yeah, certainly a nice way. Of course, you would have preferred a win, certainly, but I think in the circumstances, a P2 is kind of something you could be happy with after the race today. For next season, again, as I said, it depends how the game is, how your pace is as well. But how would you be looking for the next season? Of course, on the next game.
Yeah, when the next game is coming out and the pace wise is still there. Yeah, you need to get a feeling for the new games always. From some games to some games are not the biggest changes from the car feeling and the setups, but I think next game will be a bit harder. Maybe I go back to my wheel. Maybe not. I will see. After I think we're gonna do in season 8 a bit of a test race to see how quick which driver is, and then I will see where I am. Maybe like this season I'm in F2. Maybe then I can come out of this high midfield where I'm normally in. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to the next game and to next season.
Oh, congratulations on the P2 and good luck for next season, wherever that will be then.
Thanks you.
And then to finish, Paco Suarez, of course, taking your third podium of the season. I'm sure if circumstances were different, you would be thinking maybe you could have been on the top step today, and it was certainly looking like that when you were on the softs with medium and hard runner ahead of you. But of course, things happened. The safety car came out as well. You got damage and didn't quite work out for you in that front. But a P3, are you happy with that, Paco?
Not really, because I felt like today I had the pace. I didn't expect it, but I had the pace since in the first laps when I lost almost all the positions and I was behind Sassy, I was able to keep up, surprisingly. I don't know if he was fully pushing or what, but I was able to keep up in DRS range. And when I saw that, I knew today I had a chance to win. But unfortunately, I stuck behind team for many laps, knowing that I had better pace because Sassy made the mistake. He spun, and he was 8 seconds behind. And by the end of the stint from team on mediums, he was 3 seconds behind me. So that's why I know I was at least 5/10 quicker than team on a lap. But I couldn't overtake him. I was trying to save and trying to be cautious, and I couldn't make the move at any point. Then Sassy pitted for mediums, which I was surprised. I thought he was gonna do the normal strategy he had to softs, but probably he was as well cautious. And when I pitted, I just knew I had the win. I mean, all my respect to the drivers, but we saw it in FP, right? That the guys on soft were just unstoppable. So I tried to have good runs. I was behind Adam and Sassy when Sassy made the move. Adam tried to stick it back, and I knew that because he said it on the party. So I saw Sassy went deep, and I was like, this is my opportunity. I'm gonna go for it. And I had the run, but then Adam came back on track, and he had to turn right, which put me into the wall. So I'm not blaming in anybody. I think we could have backed off, but at that point on the final laps, you're just pushing. It's all egocentrism. So yeah, it sounds. I mean, it tastes a little bit bitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a podium, but when you could have been up high on top. Yeah, you cannot celebrate it as much as you would like to.
Yeah, well, obviously things happen. Of course, I think a few things happened for a few drivers in different circumstances. You're probably the worst off of them in a way, because I mean it was an incident that caused yours. Other people were kind of spinning on their own. Adam Corrigan had two. I mean, without a safety car, it looked like it was like set in stone for him, and then made that mistake, and then safety car kind of cancelled it. But unfortunate in some circumstances. But then also getting the P3, not the worst way it could have ended.
And one thing I want to mention is that at the end of the safety car, I got that glitch that you only have to go down, like downshift, but I got stuck in the speed and I couldn't go higher. And I realized, and it was just before Adam restarting the race, and I didn't realize about that. So everyone pushed, and when I was gonna push, I realized I had that glitch, so I couldn't have the restart I wanted. So yeah, it was all bad luck really in this race.
Yeah, hopefully though, looking to next season, things can change. Of course, in terms of DNFs, your percentage since really 2019, you can say, has been higher than you would want it. Maybe looking to change that next game, Paco?
Well, first of all, I don't know if I'll be here next game with uni and everything. I don't know where I'm gonna study yet. I would love to continue because I just love league racing as much as I have bad, bad moments. I still love it. So I would like to continue. In case of continuing, I think these two games, F1 2019 and 2020, it has shown me to be more patient. Despite maybe not having the pace or the consistency, maybe be more patient, wait for moves to be done.
Tim.
So hopefully if I end up racing next season, which I would love to do with these guys, because the end of the season has been amazing. Italy, Bahrain, and other couple of races have been amazing. In that case, I would love to be with these guys in Division 2, of course. Division 1 would be too much for me. And yeah, nothing else to say. Just congratulate everyone, and hopefully next season will be better for everyone.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be a better season in terms of turnout as well. Hopefully we can get more drivers in, which would be nice, because I mean the racing with the lower grids have been amazing. A few more people at the top, I think, would kind of be the icing on the cake in a way. So congratulations on your P3 anyway, Paco, and good luck for what's to come.
Thank you.
And that will be the end then of the F2 season as a whole in Bahrain. Of course, the final round, Haas rounding out the constructors today with a win. Of course, Thiago unfortunately wasn't here, but Adrian was able to do it on his own. So hopefully we see more racing, more close fights like this next season. And apart from that, that has been myself pretty much the entire season. A little bit of Lordy earlier on in the season. Seems like he kind of wasn't able to make the last few rounds. But that has been season 10, brought to you mainly by me and a little bit of Lordy as well. And hopefully we'll see you next game, next season. Goodbye.